participation. Okay, can we start? So we have discussed about, we started off with attitude, right? So we have discussed about attitude, and then we have discussed about the theories of attitude, right? Three theories that we have discussed, that classical conditioning, so, or Pavlovian conditioning, and then we have discussed about reward and punishment theory, and then we have also discussed about theory of social learning, right? So I hope this is clear, and this actually can be used, this itself is what we were discussed under the topic of change in attitude, how the attitude can be changed. In that context also we have discussed the same, right? Rewards can be attached, punishment can be attached, so you can create a favorable attitude, right? If you give some rewards, you can create a favorable attitude. If you give punishment, you can create unfavorable attitude. So how to change attitude from one particular attitude to the other particular attitude, this is how we have discussed. And most importantly, we have discussed about persuasion. Okay, and this is what more important, and I've told you the different elements of persuasion. Who's saying is very important, what is said is very important, to whom it is said, it is also very important. Audience is important, the source is important, and the message is important. Okay, so persuasion, it is like a democratic means, and it should not be imposition. You should not impose it on others. And if that is the case, I've told you that may lead to a boomerang effect. Okay, so that will negatively affect and it will be counterproductive. So these are the main points that we have discussed under attitude. So the case study which you can get from here is related to the change in attitude. Okay, and here, if possible, we will discuss one case study. See, today I'll take only half an hour. I have a meeting at 9:30. And also some issues going on with the camera. I'm not able to record the video. So I'll take only one topic today. Before I enter to the next topic, I want to make the settings clear. So tomorrow I will start with aptitude. In fact, I was planning to start aptitude and foundational values for civil service today, and also to solve the case studies. But I'm not able to do that. So tomorrow we will do the next topic. Today, maybe half an hour only, we will go for the discussion. Okay, so we will discuss about the relevance of aptitude or attitude from civil servants' point of view. That's where we stopped yesterday. So relevance of attitude. So this is what more important for us, right? Relevance of attitude from civil servant point of view. Okay, so now what is the prevalent attitude of civil servant, or what is generally understood as the attitude of civil servant? Yesterday when we discussed about the attitude of police, right, when we discussed about change which is required, or how the attitude can be changed with respect to police, we have discussed. With respect to different other aspects also we have discussed. So I've told you it is very very bad. From bad to new or good, we need to change, right? So when we discuss about this civil servants also, what we need to discuss is what is it is currently and what is supposed to be. Okay, so that is how we need to see the change which is required in terms of attitude of civil servants, like bureaucratic apathy. Yesterday somebody was talking about this bureaucratic apathy to, that means apathetic attitude to empathy or compassion, like that. So if you see the current setup, or you can talk about red tapism, right? Bureaucrats are not efficient, they just come and go. Okay, so there is like a ritualist, they keep on doing the role as a ritualist. They ritually come at 9 o'clock and go at 4 o'clock. Efficiently, nothing is actually happening. The red tapeism is there. The work is not going on. The goals are not achieved. So these are general problems that you can see, or you can generally talk about when it comes to the prevalent attitude of civil servants, like status quo. Status quo means what? This is like maintaining the same status. That's what you mean by this word status quo. That means not change oriented, not interested in change, what it is, and just go with that. Go with the same momentum rather than any changes, right? So what we need, from the status quo attitude, the society is changing, the economy is changing, the entire world is changing. Across the world, the civil servants are and the public servants are changing. But in India, it is the same status quo attitude. So what we need? So we need to change from this to the complement of this. What is expected? What is required? Right? That means change oriented. That means in a way you can say traditional to modern. This is what generally you can see. So traditional to modern or status quo to change oriented, right? So change oriented means you can talk about many things here. It can be like a proactive attitude, okay, or that we can discuss later also. Later we can make another paradox like laziness, okay, or here itself we can talk about laziness or the lackadaisical attitude, okay, laziness, this attitude to proactive attitude or status quo, that means resisting change, that is the attitude, right, to promoting change, that means change oriented or proactive attitude. You can also talk about service oriented attitude, right? So change oriented, service oriented, proactive attitude, these are the attitudes which is expected, and this is what desirable. So what I'm saying is desirable. So there should be a change from this to this. So how can it be done? That is what we need to discuss. Okay, laziness to proactive. And then if you see political patronage, yesterday we have discussed about this. The current system is like political patronage. So bureaucrats are supposed to be politically neutral. That is one of the important value or which has to be followed. That we will discuss the values that the civil servants are supposed to follow. So currently the issues with respect to political patronage, you will get the plum posting, you'll get the best postings, right? So if you are just an extended arm of the political party or the government, then you will get the best postings and whatever is demanded, you will get it. But you have to follow the political party, right? So political patronage to what we need? We need political neutrality. So this is the change that we are talking about, right? So when we discuss about the change which is required within the civil service, or when we discuss about the relevance of attitude among the civil servants point of view, from the civil servants point of view, this is the attitudinal change which is required. I'm not saying that everybody is like this, but when we generally discuss about, this is a system, this is a structure, the system is like that. It is not the problem with the persons, it is not the problem with the civil servants. The system is like that. Over a period of time, the system has developed and the system is like that, and the system is not promoting change. Even despite after various laws, including right to informations and everything, the system is almost remain the same. So we will talk about the change in structure also, but within attitude also there should be change. Okay, so change oriented, proactive, service oriented, political neutrality, these are the points that you need to write somewhere. You need to put it in your case studies. So then we can also talk about the important social issues from where you can expect questions or case studies. So they can give you a particular social issue, and based on which they can check the attitude, right? They can put you in a situation where the communal right is going on. So that may be a situation. Or in 2015, there was a question which was related to caste. So if you see in India, the society is divided on various aspects. Society is divided on a linguistic basis, okay, regional basis, religious basis, and within that caste basis. So much of division you can see in society. So a civil servant is going to face dilemma in different situations. So what kind of attitude you will show in these circumstances can be checked directly through the case studies. Okay, so your attitude with respect to caste, like caste bias will be there or not. So this can be checked. Okay, caste bias or prejudice. Okay, so if you belong to upper caste, or then there may be a prejudice. So you may consider some caste as superior and other as inferior, right? So I hope we have discussed about this already, and you might be knowing about this, that Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So this division or this hierarchy, there's a hierarchy, right? So one is placed over the other. So there is a hierarchy which you can see here, and this hierarchy is based on the principle of pollution and purity. So what is this concept of pollution and purity? Who is the most pure among this? Brahmins are the most pure, right? Who is the most polluted? Within this, Shudras or the, and these are known as Varna, and then there is Avarna, that is Dalit. So that is attached with pollution. So these are the most polluted group. The Dalits are the most polluted. Brahmins are the pure. So the superiority or inferiority that we are talking about is actually in terms of pollution and purity. So Brahmins are superior, Dalits are obviously inferior. And again, it is very relative between Kshatriya. Now, if you go with Kshatriya versus Vaishya, this group is more, pure, right? So they are superior. Even between Shudra versus Dalit, if you see, the Shudra is considered superior because they are comparatively more pure than the Dalits. So basically, this is the context, purity and pollution, and based on that, caste bias will be there. So it can be superiority, inferiority, pollution, purity, okay? Pollution versus purity. So as a civil servant, this attitude, this should not be there in your actions. And if somebody is showing this, you should be in a position to convince them through persuasion. Okay, so you may put in some situations where some caste bias will be there, some caste issues will be there, some religious issues will be there. Okay, so religious riots will be there. So persuasion is going to be the most important weapon at the hand of the civil servant at that point of time initially. Then later you can go for deterrence, you can use force and etc. That we will discuss when we discuss about case study. But understand the point here. Here we are only sticking with attitude, and not only your attitude should be better. So what need to be there? You should be considering everybody as equal. So from this to equality. So this is how the change is required. Attitude change is required. You may be from an upper caste. You may consider yourself as pure. You may be a Brahmin, but you should be in a position to consider everybody as equal. Okay, so that attitude change is actually required. That is very much important. So if you go back and see 2015 question paper, there was a question which is related to the midday meal scheme. So the headmistress of the school, okay, so is facing a dilemma here because the cook is from Dalit community. We will discuss this question later when I take up the case study. I'll discuss this, but I'm just giving an example here. I'm not going to discuss the actual answer, complete answer for this particular question. I'll just tell you the concept or role of attitude here and the role of persuasion here. Otherwise, as a case study, we will do it later. Okay. So cook is actually from the pure, not pure, impure Dalit community. So principal, the headmistress is actually from upper caste, maybe Brahmin or Kshatriya, whatever it is. So higher attendance is there, number of students are there, okay, and student enrollment is there in the school. So most of the students are from upper caste. So what happened is the moment they came across the knowledge that the cook is a Dalit, they stopped sending the students to the school. Now, if the students are not coming to the school, what will happen? The school may get closed, okay, and all these people will lose the job also, the teachers and everyone. So this is the situation. So the upper caste people are demanding that you change the cook, they will send the students. Otherwise, they will not send the students. So if minimum attendance is not there, it is compulsory. If minimum attendance is not there, the school will get closed, right? So the principal, the headmistress is actually in a dilemma. Now, how this dilemma can be solved will be the question for you. So here, not only your attitude is going to be important here, you also need to change the attitude of others, right? You need to change the attitude of the parents of the students. So that is very important, right? So, and how can you do that? You can do that through persuasion. Okay, so you need to go for this. The behavioral change is actually required. So you need to convince the upper caste, right? So all those things that we have discussed, you can write here, and maybe from what you can write is persuasion is the key point, and then you can talk to some liberal upper caste. So within them, there may be some liberal upper caste. The headmistress itself is coming from the upper caste and liberal person. But at the same time, that person can also talk to some liberal upper caste and make them convinced, so that they will also talk to the other members and they will send the students to the school. And even you can say that you will eat the food cooked by the Dalits, you yourself will eat, right? That, right, like that you can say. And even deterrence also work, because this is a kind of latent untouchability, right? Untouchability is actually banned or abolished, right? Article 17, you can mention Article 17, Article 21 also, right to life, and various laws, untouchability, prohibition, various laws you can quote, and that will act as a deterrence. So at the final step, after the persuasion and everything, you can even say that you can go for deterrence. You can create a deterrence by saying that you're violating the law, and if it is complained, you will be punished. Okay, so that is the last step that you can write. So here, my point here is, if you are taking this person, or if you're not sending the students to the school just because of this person, it is a concept of latent untouchability. What is latent? Yesterday we have discussed, I hope. Latent means the hidden aspect. Directly, if when we talk about untouchability, what you are trying to understand so far is directly, direct act, right? But that is not the case here. It is the kind of indirect. So directly it is not possible, because immediately it will get the punitive situation. So it is a kind of latent act. So that you need to go for persuasion. That is very important. Okay. So what can be done here? Mainly persuasion, and also deterrence you can use. You yourself can eat the food because you are from the upper caste only, and maybe some liberal upper caste people will be there. You can talk to them and you can convince them so that they can convince the others. So these are different measures that you can take. So here I'm confining to these steps only. The way you change the attitude, the way you go for persuasion, right? So this is how the question can be framed. So the point here is, you will be put in a particular situation where you have to show the attitude, right? How you are, how you are behaving in that particular situation. Not only your attitude matters, how you are working on the attitude of other people also will be checked over here. Okay, similarly, yesterday also we have discussed about, when I told you about the Pavlovian conditioning theory or the classical conditioning theory, when you're grown up, some religion associated with some particular activity, right? So terrorist activity, some particular religion. So people already have this preconceived notion, or this prejudice is already there in the minds of the people. When you're growing up, that is there. And that particular community will face problem in society, in terms of even people will not even become friends with that people. They will not be able to get rented house. So people even refrain from renting an apartment to that particular community. So this kind of situation, you need what? You need an attitudinal change, right? So religious issues, you will see. This may be a case study. Then third one we can discuss, or you will see in the paper, is related to corruption. This is very important from the point of view of civil servants. So attitude with respect to corruption. What attitude should be there and what attitude is there? That is the debate, or that is the question. See, when we discuss about corruption in India, this is the easiest way to make money, right? So less risky also. No risk, less risky, and also more rewarding. You just need to close your eyes, you will get money like anything, or money or anything, whatever it is. So less risky. Why less risky? No conviction. Very, very low conviction, hardly or less than 1% conviction under these cases of corruption. So that is also one of the problem, very low rate of conviction. So it is very less risky, at the same time more rewarding. So, and when we discuss about corruption, there are two types of corruption: coercive corruption, right? And then collusive corruption. Collusive corruption means this A and B, two party. A may be a big entrepreneur company, and B may be an IAS officer or IPS officer. So A needs some help from B. So A offer money and B will be ready to do it. So this is what collusive. They colluded and there is no other parties actually involved here, and they both are in agreement, mutual agreement. So nobody is losing here. Among A and B, nobody is losing. Because A is paying something, maybe if A is paying 1 crore, let's say 1 crore A is paying to B, okay, but A will be making 100 crore, right? So it's hardly 1% is what A is paying. So this 100 crore A is making illegally, from that 1 crore you are paying. So it is fine, it is perfect for A, and B is also getting that 1 crore, so B is also happy with it. Now, who's losing here? Who's losing here or who's facing the problem is actually the society. Okay, so society might be losing. It may be the resource of society which will be getting exploited, or in whatever way, or the government is losing, means obviously ultimately society is losing, right? So the problem in case of collusive corruption, and it is very difficult to catch also. The situation will never come in the light, right? Collusive corruption means both are ready. Now, what do you mean by coercive corruption? It's like you are forced to pay. For example, you go to village office and you ask them for a particular certificate, maybe income certificate or caste certificate or any birth certificate or whatever it is, right? So they will ask you, like, you pay 100 rupee or 200 rupee. This is what coercive corruption, you are forced to give. Now this may come into light, but even then the chances of this conviction is very rare in this kind of cases, corruption cases. So the point here is very less risky, especially this case is not at all risky. What is the risk involved? Hardly this will be finding out later, at much later stage, and nobody will find out also what is actually going on. That is what collusive corruption. So it will never come into light also. So it is very less risky and more rewarding. So this actually create problem within, again, among the civil service, and the society's resource will be wasted, or society will be facing the problem. Okay, now people also started believing nowadays that if you give money, then only the things will get done. So even people are also willing to give money. So not only the civil servants' attitude need to be changed. When you discuss about that, again, you need to be very careful when you're writing your answer. If you're just talking from the point of view of civil servant, then that is a one-dimensional answer. You are sticking to one part. So you can talk about that. Civil servants' attitude need to be changed. Okay. And family will also act as a justification for corruption, because family is forcing you to corrupt, etc. So that attitude from the civil servants you need to write. At the same time, people attitude need to be changed. People should understand that this is an illegal activity, so you should refrain from paying. That is also another thing. So the attitude of the people, see here we are only sticking to attitude. Legal part we have to discuss later. I'm not coming to that and not discussing that at this point of time. So here we are sticking to attitude. So not only the attitude of the civil servant which need to be changed, but civil servant attitude can be changed with respect to what? It should be reward, or it should be punishment. Now you see here, if you see reward and punishment here, what is more? Reward is more, right? But no punishment. If there is a punishment, if there is a fear of punishment, for having fear of punishment, what have to happen? More conviction rate should be there. But that's not there. For example, this policeman's case is investigated by policeman. What will happen? Ultimately, nothing will happen. IAS officer's case is investigated by a policeman. What will happen? Nothing is going to happen. After some years, it's over. That case is over, right? So the punishment is no more there, and it is highly rewarding. So the chances of repeating this will be there. So how to change the attitude? For that, conviction should be there, punishment should be there, etc. that you can write. So that's how reward punishment theory you can write here. Secondly, you have to talk about the perspective of common people. So when you go to village office, somebody is asking you to pay money. You should not immediately pay money. What is the reason why you need to pay money? It is illegal and it should not be there. So people also need to understand that it is illegal. So otherwise, people now started believing that if you're not paying, you will not get it done. So people have to understand that it's their right. So civil servants are there and they're getting salary for serving you. It's not, their mercy. So that kind of feeling, that kind of attitude should be generated in the minds of the common people. Okay, so all these points, these are general in nature. Again, you should be in a position to write this. So the point is, there is no possibility of getting things done if you're not paying. That is the mind of the common people. But it should be changed to such a way that the civil servants are there to get your job done. They are paid salary. It's not that, see, when some civil servants are doing something, you treat them as a hero, you worship them. That's not required. Why? Because civil servants' job is actually to do that. It is only for social service, only for serving the public. You are getting paid. You're already getting paid for what you're doing. So there is nothing new in that. There is nothing heroic in that. Okay. So common people also should start believing that it is something which they are supposed to get. It's a matter of right. It's not matter of the choice of the side of civil servants. So the attitude of the common people also need to be changed. So I hope you got some idea about this particular area. So again, this manual scavenging, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, women, all these, again, civil servants need to be sensitive with respect to all these women issue. Okay. With respect to women, you have to show that sensitivity. Old age people, okay, the attitude towards them should be changed. Okay. So this bureaucratic apathy should not be there. Some kind of compassion, some kind of empathy should be there, but within the law, like that. Any doubts here? Any doubts from this particular topic, attitude?
Hello, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, can we say that with respect to time, our attitude is also changing?
With respect to time, or automatically different situations, different instances, and again, based on your maturity, or automatically attitude will change. Because you will be, it's again like conditioning, right? Over a period of time, you will get conditioned.
Yes. Okay, sir. Thank you,
No,
sir.
social influence and persuasion are not the same. Social influence we'll discuss. I'll discuss under aptitude. Social influence I'll discuss under aptitude. But obviously you can understand what is it.
Hello, sir. What means how should we act, sir? As means my question was very basic. That as a UPSC is giving us a very less time to solve the paper, and it is based on to check our attitude. So, sir, how should we act when in accordance to it, so that means our attitude should be stable?
No, you don't want to show your attitude. I'll give you the ready-made method to answer these questions later.
Okay, sir.
Original attitude is actually not required to solve this paper.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. If you don't have a good attitude, or if you don't have this thing, you have to act good, right? Or you have to behave good. That we will see what you can do later.
Yes, sir.
So this is enough for today. We'll discuss tomorrow. Just check the message in the WhatsApp tomorrow. In case if there is any problem with respect to the class, I'll message you, I'll update you. Just check before attending the class, okay? So I'll stop here. There's a topic, attitude. There one question is for sure from this topic. One question from part A and one question from part B also. So one theory and one case study is for sure. You can expect, okay? So prepare this attitude. It can be attitudinal change. Theory, I haven't seen that directly asking, but based on theory only you can answer these questions. So mainly we use the theory, reward and punishment theory, okay, in most of the cases. Or attitudinal change, mainly you need to talk about persuasion. That's more important. Okay, so if you don't have any other doubt, we can stop here. Any doubts, we can discuss maybe for 5 minutes also.
Hello, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, in case studies, if there is in case of dilemmas, so there might be n number of solutions to a single problem, sir, right? So should we enlist the best possible one, or should we enlist all of them all together in a single answer?
It is not necessary that the best possible one. Best possible one will be only one. Okay. So best possible, second best, third best, like that will be there. So you have to show the different possibilities. They will ask you 4 different possibilities. So list out that and then tell them which one is the best and why you are selecting that one. That's how you need to. We will discuss. We will see the case study, so you'll understand how to proceed with that.
Yes, right.
It's not that it is not possible for you to list 5 best possible situations. One will be best, and then second best, third best. Like that, it will go.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Can we stop here today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See you.